The rules for the gingerbread competition are everything must be edible except the base that your house is on. We recommend a wooden base for excellent support. Outside of that, anything you can eat, you can use. Doesn't have to taste good. As long as it's not going to hurt me as a judge if I decide to taste it, you'll be fine. We've seen pretzels, pastas, all sorts of candies. Candy is probably the best resource you've got. One thing to remember, if you're using your candies, unwrap everything. Gingerbread Monday starts at 8 o'clock in the morning, people bringing their entries in. Generally, we'll have some mishaps. We've got an emergency room to help people make minor repairs. We have had people whose houses have completely fallen apart. Transporting gingerbread can be a very tricky thing to do. We've gotten entries from Idaho, from Vermont, South Carolina, Florida. Some people have put in a lot of expense and time to travel here with their entries. Your basic gingerbread house will consist of a solid base, well-baked gingerbread, royal icing, which holds everything together. And royal icing is simply egg whites and powdered sugar, and it will dry rock hard and add no grease or moisture to your house. So your gingerbread won't be compromised by any type of moisture. And then any candy you can imagine. There's plenty of opportunities there for roofs, walks, windows, shingles, shutters. Let your imagination run wild. We've seen all sorts of neat architectural designs in this competition. We see a lot of just traditional gingerbread houses which remind people of Christmas. Every year we get a lot of media attention over this competition. We get local attention from the newspapers, the radios, the TV stations, regional attention from major cities like Knoxville, Charlotte, and Atlanta. We get national coverage from newspapers around the country, and we get coverage on cable TV from Food Network to Home and Garden Television. And every year it culminates into a trip to Good Morning America, where Phil Wers and myself will box up gingerbread houses and transport them to New York. Every year I'll grow from this competition. I like to say I take more away from it than I've ever put into it. And every year I see unique things that, as a pastry chef, have never crossed my mind. I think of gingerbread as a very practical baking tool, and the people that enter this competition are creative-minded, architectural, design-type people that aren't necessarily foodies at all, and they bring some very interesting ideas and techniques to the table that I love to steal whenever I can. Our competition, with its hundreds of entries, are the centerpiece of the Grove Park holidays every year. If you haven't seen them, please come by and do so. And next year, we're looking forward to your entry.
Today, my writing partner, Brenda Hill, and I are at the Grove Park Inn in Asheville, North Carolina. with the chef de cuisine, Kelly Patton of Chops.
What I'll be preparing is a seared salmon with a tomato provençal. First off, what I'll do is I'm going to have a smoking hot pan. I'm going to sear my salmon with a little bit of salt and pepper in our smoking hot pan, and right as that salmon's finished, being ready to be plated, I'm going to finish it with my tomato provençal.
Kelly, do you always start with the flesh side down?
Yeah, I always start with that flesh side down because anything, your fish or your chicken or your steaks or anything like that, you want basically it's the nicest side you want cooking first. You're always going to get your best sear on that first side compared to the second side. And it's basically what you want to do is you want to have that salmon to a nice crispy texture, a nice golden brown, and that first time you sear it is always going to be your best side.
Why is it always the best?
Your pan is hot. Your pan doesn't have any other elements in it other than that smoking hot oil. So once you get that salmon with that skin down or that flesh down, that's the first thing that's going to hit it. There's nothing in it to interrupt the cooking, and you'll always get a very nice brown sear on it.
Now, are those just regular mashed potatoes?
They're a basil, Dijon, Yukon Gold mash. Nothing's ever usually normal in the kitchen. Okay. We got our seared salmon. We have a Dijon Yukon Gold mashed potato and our steamed asparagus. I'm going to place it a little bit of height in there. Then we have a nice tomato provençal. We're just going to heat up in our pan. You're kind of getting those natural oils from the salmon to kind of accentuate the flavor of that provençal. And right from the pan, onto the top of our salmon, leaving a little bit of that salmon flesh, that nice brown salmon flesh for the color. And there we have it.
Kelly, what do you put in your Provençal?
Basically what I put in my Provençal is diced tomatoes, sun-dried tomatoes, capers, olives, and olive oil and vinegar.
Do you marinate that, or?
Basically just the olive oil and the natural juices from the tomatoes.
That looks great, Kelly.
Thank you, thank you. What I like to do is like the height and the color is more of my presentation of the dish. Instead of trying to cover it with a lot of garnish, I try to use the natural ingredients and the colors for the presentation itself. It's showing off the presentation and ingredients of the dish.
Kelly, what's your favorite comfort food?
My favorite comfort food, probably out of everything, is Italian food. There's nothing better to put you to sleep than a big bowl of pasta.
But prior to it being Italian food, what did you like best?
What I like best? Well, prior to Italian food, probably just the thing that I would sit down and eat would be a comfort would be waffle with strawberries and ice cream. Would be a good comfort food.
Yeah, that's the one I really.
Okay.
I like pasta too.
Yeah,
but that waffle and ice cream really sounded
Yeah.
good. That sounded great. And what's your favorite kitchen utensil?
My favorite kitchen utensil is something I express to my chefs a lot is just a smoking hot pan.
A smoking hot pan.
Smoking hot pan, yeah.
So you can fix anything in it.
Yeah, sauteing, it's great. Nothing will ever stick to it.
And what about presentation?
Presentation, what I try to express in my food is that the food itself is its own garnish, that the flow of all the food and the colors of the food are its own presentation. So you don't really have to put a lot of things on top of it to make it look pretty. It's the food itself is what its own garnish, what its own presentation is.
Okay, and Brenda, did you have any
I
questions?
did. My question's about wine.
Okay.
I would like to know how you choose the wine to go with the dish.
That's something that probably all of us are still working on because it's such a hard thing. But I choose basically the dominant structure of the food. Say it's a sauce in some dish is how I judge the wine. So the dominant part of the dish is where I kind of go for the wine. So a sweeter dish could use a drier wine or the opposite. But usually the most dominant part of the food of the dish is how I judge the wines.
Well, thank you very much.
You're very welcome. This is a nice holiday dish. What I have is a braised nutmeg and citrus duck breast paired with a tart cherry beurre rouge. The duck breast is marinated in natural juices from the orange, fresh squeezed orange, nutmeg. Something about the duck that's very important. The fat of the duck breast is scored, which is going to help it from curling. And then a little bit description about our beurre rouge. Basically, a beurre rouge is butter and red wine. We take tart cherries and reduce them with onions, our red wine to bring it down, a little bit of cream, and at the very end, we're going to add our butter in and strain it to get a nice, smooth beurre rouge. Again, with our smoking hot pan. Anything when you're cooking in a smoking hot pan, you kind of want to lay it away from you.
Did you put olive oil in there? Or,
I use olive oil or clarified butter. Clarified butter has a higher smoke point than oil. It's usually good. The reason I was laying the duck away is just for the safety fact. You don't want anything kind of splashing towards you. You know, when you're in a hot kitchen, you know, trying to cook for 100 people and, you know, once you get hurt or something, it's not a good thing. So you always want to kind of lay things away from you when you're cooking in hot, very hot saute pans. Again, with the skin side down, it's going to be your best looking side. You have to be careful with this one because of the marinade. The marinade it'll take it to a point where it's almost too dark. So you got to kind of monitor it, watch it very closely, because it'll take it. If you leave it on there too much, it'll take that skin to a kind of a black point, to which we don't want. Here we are. You kind of see the scores. The skin's not pulling away from itself, curling up on us. We're going to take that one right into the oven.
that looks easy enough.
All right. Nice color there on our duck. Just to reiterate, this duck, I seared it and finished it off in the oven for about 10 minutes to get our mid to mid-rare, basically our mid to mid-rare temperature. To finish off this dish, I have a fingerling potato, applewood smoked bacon au gratin, kind of like a good fall color to go with the dish. Also, I'm gonna have a concassé tomato and diced zucchini. Concassé tomato is basically a tomato that's been steamed without the skin, basically the meat of the tomato. A good, again, almost kind of Christmas fall color. And what I'm gonna do is, we're gonna take our duck. And 9 times out of 10 at any restaurants or anything, you'll see your duck will be very thinly sliced. So we're gonna go ahead and do that. It looks good for plate presentation.
And when you cook that for 10 minutes, what was it, about 4 or 450?
It was, the oven was at about 400. So 10 minutes at 400 in our oven. Okay, now we have our dish. Real centralized, looking very nice. I'm gonna take these pieces here. I'm gonna kind of stack them. Get some real nice height on there. We look like a good, right on mid-rare for our duck. When you're placing them, you want to let them know what the temperature is. A nice centralized looking plate, lots of fall colors on here. And then right at the end, we're gonna finish with our Cherry Bear Rouge. We're gonna put that basically right over the bottom of the plate here. We don't want to cover up all the duck. We kind of want them to see it. See that nice sear on that fat.
Kelly, what wine would you suggest serving with your holiday duck?
I would suggest something a little dry, red wine, for the fact that our sauce, it's a very dominant part of the dish. The sauce itself, at the very beginning, has just a little bit of tartness, but it finishes off very sweet. So I believe a good kind of drier red wine would go along with that very well. This is a feature item on Chops' menu at the Grove Park Inn. It's going to be a warm apple pie garnished with chocolate sauce and caramel sauce, a little bit of candied pecan, and a little bit of fresh berries. The apple pie itself, it consists of apples tossed in a dark rum. It's going to be baked in a nice tart shell, and then we're going to top that with a little bit of brown sugar coating. Basically, all of our desserts are done in-house, which is a very, very great benefit for us. Done in our own pastry shop. Our breads, our desserts, and everything is all done on property. And basically what I'm going to do is we have our apple pie in the oven, and I'm going to start to garnish our plate with our sauces and our pecans, and then we'll be able to present. Well, first off, I'm going to do is, while the apple pie's in the oven, I'll take a little bit of our caramel sauce, which also is done in-house. Basically, any kind of design is feasible, and then I'll give you guys a little trick here, which you guys probably see on food shows. Basically, we're just going to start off with a couple lines of our caramel. Right behind it, we're going to go with our chocolate. Trying to keep the chocolate close to the caramel. And then all we're going to do is simply take a toothpick. We're going to real slowly try to draw that chocolate right through the caramel. You're going to see that contrast of the chocolate into the caramel. Gives it that really nice kind of peak look. So if you're ever at a restaurant, you know their tricks now. And then what we're going to do is we got our design, get our strawberry ready. A nice thinly fanned strawberry. Then we're going to go to the oven, pull out our apple pie, and get it ready to go. Now for us, our apple pies are basically par cooked. And what we like to do is we like to reheat them in an oven at 400 degrees for about 6-7 minutes. Gotta be kind of gentle with that tart shell so it doesn't break on us. There we are. We got a little bit of whipped cream in a bag, simple pastry bag with a little tip. Gonna kind of go with those same lines with our chocolate and caramel. Do a little dab at the back. Take that strawberry, just kind of fan it out real nice over our top. And here we have a little bit of candied pecans. The candied pecans and the apple pie we'll have on the website, so you guys can pick it up, try it at home. And I'm just going to take these candied pecans and just kind of toss them across the plate. A little extra sugar doesn't help. And there we are.
That looks scrumptious.
Thank you. The berries, of course, towards the wintertime will be harder to find. The different colors on it are great. You could change it up with a different kind of whipped cream, but This is how we present it over here in our restaurant. Hope you enjoy.
Our spa opened in February of 2001, and it was built on the mountain in front of the main inn. And because we are mainly subterranean, dynamite was used to blow out the side of the mountain in order to build the spa underground. It took about 2.5 years for them to build our spa, and we have incorporated within the spa skylights that actually allow natural lighting into the spa in order to not be completely underground in a cave. Our services here at the spa include a series that we call our Heaven Series treatments. And within the Heaven Series, our signature treatment is our Fire Rock Water Light treatment. Our Fire Rock Water Light treatment incorporates the 4 elements that you see throughout the spa. And throughout your 80-minute treatment, you receive a exfoliation, a wrap, a Vichy shower, and a bath. And the Fire Rock Water and Light elements are incorporated throughout that entire treatment. We also, on our Heaven Series treatment, have facials. We have a Sanctuary of the Senses facial. We have a color and light therapy, which is extremely popular. You get a before and after aura imaging, and you receive a color and light bath or a color and light wrap with that treatment. In addition to the Heaven Series, though, we also offer basic massage treatments, Swedish massage, deep massage. We offer baths, and we also offer a variety of facials as well as manicures and pedicures. Each guest is greeted with a concierge upon arrival, and they're taken back into our locker room and given a locker, a robe, and slippers. And then you're given a personalized tour of the entire facility. Because we are so large, we make that personal touch to accommodate you and to acclimate you to our facility so that you can enjoy your day. And that concierge is there throughout the rest of the day to answer questions and get anything that you might need that you don't find in our facility to make your day as legendary as we want it to be. Our spa was actually created to further the vision of E.W. Grove when he built Grove Park Inn. This place was created for a place to come and relax and rejuvenate and heal your body, and the spa helps make that experience complete.